students of 7th standard. We have started the new topic from your science textbook, that is nothing but fourth topic, that is nutrition in living organisms. So what does this tells us? We all of us, we eat the food, that is nothing but the nutrients we take inside our body, and the digestion is taking place. We know that. So what is the proper type of the, you can say, nutrients, or what are the types of the nutrients, or how they are, you can say, digested? That all things we are going to see in this, you can say, video. So what does this tells us? See here, first one, nutrition. Some life processes go on continuously in living organisms. Whenever we see, there are some life processes, they are continuously going or taking place in case of a, you can say, living organisms. Substances whichever are digested and assimilated for obtaining energy and for the growth and health of our body are called as the foodstuffs. So what are the foodstuffs? The nutrients whichever we are eating, and after that they are digested, or you can say assimilated, and after digestion or assimilation there is a, you can say, production of the energy, and this energy is used for the various purposes in our body. So these are called as the foodstuffs. So what are the foodstuffs? These are nothing but the substances whichever are digested and assimilated for obtaining energy. So what happens? These substances are digested, or you can say assimilated, for obtaining the energy and for the growth of the health. This is also, you can say, helpful for our growth of the body, or to get the health in a good condition of our body, and these are called as the foodstuffs. So foodstuffs are nothing but the substances whichever are digested and assimilated for obtaining energy and for the growth of health of our body are called as the foodstuffs. Now we get several types of nutrients. Now whatever the nutrients we are eating, whatever the food we are taking inside our body, it contains the various types of the nutrients from foodstuffs. Nutrients are classified as, how are they classified? They are classified as macronutrients and micronutrients. Nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins and fats are required in a very large quantity. Now you can say nutrients like carbohydrates, proteins and fats are required in a very large quantity. These are micronutrients. Minerals and vitamins are required in a very small quantity. They are called as the micronutrients. Now see the next in your book, the yellow point is given there. The process of taking in and using food which takes place in living organism is nothing but a nutrition. That means whatever we are taking inside our body is nothing but a nutrition. Need for nutrition. Why we need nutrition? To supply the energy required for doing the daily work, or you can say whatever the work we are doing in our daily life. For that the energy is required, and this energy is supplied by the nutrients. Growth and development of the body. For the growth and development of the body also these nutrients are very helpful. Then they replace the damaged cells and repair the tissues. Whatever the damaged cells are there, they are replacing these damaged cells and repairing the cells or tissues also. They fight against the disease. Now see, there are two types of nutrition. They are nothing but autotrophic nutrition and heterotropic nutrition. What do you mean by autotrophic nutrition? See there, some organisms can produce their own food and they can nourish themselves. This is called as a autotrophic nutrition. That means there are some organisms which prepare their own food and they, you can say, nourish themselves. Such types of a nutrition is called as a autotrophic nutrition. Heterotrophic nutrition is called as a, what is heterotrophic nutrition here? If the organisms are depending on other organisms for their food, then that is called as a heterotrophic organization, or you can say heterotrophic nutrition. Plants convert light energy into chemical energy and store it in the form of a food. Whenever there is a plants are also one type of a living beings. So what they do, they convert the light energy into the chemical energy and store it in the form of the food See here, water, minerals and salts are absorbed by roots from the soil. So what does the plants do? They absorb the water, minerals and salts from the, you can say, soil. How they absorb? They absorb it with the help of the roots. The stem transports them to the leaves. So what does this tell? The parts of the plants are nothing but roots, stem, leaves, flowers and you can say fruits. So what does the roots do? The roots absorb the water, mineral and salts from the, you can say, ground or from the soil and they give it to the stem. Then the stem transports them up to the leaves. So this, you can say, stem transfers them up to the leaves. The leaves have microscopic openings. The leaves are having a microscopic openings which is called as a stomata, through which they take in CO2 from the, you can say, air. The chloroplast present in the leaves. Chloroplast is present in the leaves which contains the chlorophyll which absorbs sunlight, helping to convert CO2 and water into the food. Oxygen is given out in this process. So what happens is that CO2 and water is absorbed by the, you can say, plant. So what does it do? The plant absorbs the CO2 from the surrounding and water from the, you can say, soil, and it does the photosynthesis and the oxygen is given out in this process. Beside leaves, photosynthesis takes place in green parts, stems too. That means the photosynthesis is not only taking place in case of a leaf, but it is also taking place in the stems. They contain the chlorophyll. Transport system in plants. Take a pumpkin stem. You have to take a pumpkin stem having 2 to 3 leaves. It should have 2 to 3 leaves. Cut it under water with a sharp blade. You want to cut it under water with a sharp blade. Take some water in a conical flask. What you have to do? You have to take some water in a conical flask and add 7 to 8 drops of ink to it. What you have to do? You have to take you can say, pumpkin stem having the leaves, 2 to 3 leaves, and you have to cut it under the water with a sharp blade and take some water in a conical flask. You want to put, you can say, 7 to 8 drops of ink into it. Now put the pumpkin stem vertically in that flask. What you have to do? You have to put that pumpkin stem vertically into the flask. Observe the changes that takes place in this and discuss. So what happens there? That we have to discuss. The transport system of a plants. The transport system of a plants consists of a xylem and you can say phloem. So there are two conducting tissues. They are nothing but xylem and phloem. Xylem is a water conducting tissue and phloem is nothing but a food conducting tissue. Now the xylem transports minerals and water from root to all aerial parts of the plants. That means what happens? The water and minerals are absorbed by the roots and whatever the xylem, whichever is present, xylem tissue, it transfers all these waters and minerals to the other parts of the, you can say, plant. Then see the phloem transports the food, that is nothing but glucose. The phloem is nothing but a tissue which is called as a food conducting tissue. And what does it do? It transports the food from the leaf to the other parts of the plant. So what does it do? It transports the food from leaves to the other parts of the plant, where it is either consumed or it is stored. Though the plants have transport system, they do not have a separate digestive or you can say excretory system.